Today we are making this beautiful salad, which is loaded with fresh seasonal produce, and we are making this lemon honey basil vinaigrette. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross, and this is the Cross Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries while utilizing fresh seasonal produce and teaching you tips so it doesn't go bad and that you can use it for weeks to come. So I started chopping some of the peaches and cherries and a plum to make the salad and get everything ready, and then we went out to the garden and I got some basil and some mint that I'm going to wash. So I just wanted to show you how pretty it was before I washed it. All right, this is one of the recipes that I made over the weekend and it was so good. Everybody was like, you need to write this down. So this is the leftover dressing that I made. It's lemon, basil, honey, and I had some mint, so I added it to it. I'm going to talk about how I made this easy vinaigrette, and we're going to make it today. And then I'm going to also show you how I put the salad together so you can have a new fresh idea for summer. Now, when we're starting the vinaigrette, it's going to seem like I'm putting a lot of oil into it. We are making enough not only to have for like a meal, but it will store in the refrigerator for later. So just remember, when you hear a half a cup of oil, it's not just for one salad. You can store it away and it will last for many weeks in the refrigerator if you keep it in a glass jar with a metal lid. So these are really simple ingredients that we're using to make this vinaigrette. We're going to use oil, vinegar, mustard, lemon, and these fresh herbs to do this. And when I made it over the weekend, I had some garlic left, and I actually used the last garlic clove that I had. And the fact that it's the middle of summertime, I know if I went and got garlic at the grocery store like right now, possibly it would be a year-old garlic at the store. So I wanted to hold off another couple weeks because normally garlic is harvested later in July, and that way it will be fresh garlic that I'm getting from the store. So I'm just going to use some powdered garlic today, but kind of think about that as you're buying things and they're in season. When you're getting garlic in August, it's normally freshly picked. And if you're getting the, especially in a bag like at Costco, it will have a little tab on the top and that has a date on it. So I love being able to watch those little dates on there and make sure that they're picked from that summer, not the summer before. I love making different salad dressings with just the normal ingredients that we have in our pantry and our refrigerator. We have a couple different recipes on the blog. We'll make sure to link those in the description if you're looking for something like avocado ranch or honey mustard dressing. And kind of talking about other things that I normally have in the pantry, this is 12 pounds of honey. So we get one of these every year and we are almost about a third of the way to the bottom of this. So I know by this fall, I'm going to need to get another one. But instead of needing to get honey often at the grocery store, we just get a tub of it. And I normally transfer it into a half-gallon jars of glass, but we're getting ready to move. So this is the last that's in the tub still. So when you're able to buy it, like those bigger quantities of things that you're going to use anyways, you can save money on them and get better products for your family. This is kind of a good tip. I grab all of the larger leaves of basil and I will roll these up and chop them before I throw them into the blender. But it just helps to be able to cut them a little bit quicker this way. And then I can also put some of the tiny leaves in the middle as I roll it up. We're going to use a half a cup of avocado or extra virgin olive oil, whatever you happen to have, the juice of 1 lemon, and then I have a half cup of chopped fresh basil and some mint. So you can mix any herbs that you want to together. A tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 1 clove of garlic, or in my case, I'm going to add a tablespoon of powdered garlic, and then salt and pepper taste, which is normally about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey. Just kind of taste it and see if you want it a little bit sweeter, and you can add a little bit more honey. And then you just mix that up in a blender until it's creamy and smooth, and store in a glass jar with a metal lid. Now, I love using just the things that I have on hand, so make the salad however you want to make it, but I like making it with kale and then this dressing on top of it. It kind of hides the kale totally. So kale and spinach. I also have some romaine here, so I don't know what I'll end up throwing in the bowl, but it will be delicious. But this dish here is the largest out of the Snapware when you get the Pyrex set like at Costco. So it only holds like half of a head of lettuce. This one here is another brand that I have on my Amazon storefront. This will hold an entire head of romaine lettuce, and I use it all of the time. So we will make sure to link this one in the description. It actually has like a whole chicken in the picture, but it will hold a whole head of romaine lettuce. And then normally when I'm storing spinach, I will store it in a stasher bag like this because I can't fit too many of these large containers in my refrigerator. And for spinach, if I'm going to not use it all in that grocery shopping cycle, then I can just take out the paper towel and put this in the freezer. So that way we always have spinach available, even if it's not fresh for salads, but we can put it into recipes. So these are some of my favorite products for storing the greens. So for this today, I'm going to cut off the spines off of the kale, and then we're going to add it to the bowl. I'm going to add some spinach to it, then see how full I've made the bowl and decide if I want to add some romaine to it today also. And then I normally pour the dressing over on top of the greens instead of at the very end, and that way your greens get dressed really well, and then you can add the toppings. And I did have some extra basil and mint that I got out of the garden, so I just chopped that up, and we're just going to add it to the salad so it didn't go to waste. So I'm going to add the kale and the herbs, and I did do a little bit of spinach into the bowl, and then I'm going to dress it with the vinaigrette. So I coated the greens, and then sometimes I will divide it up into the individual bowls at this point and then add the toppings on. But for pictures today, I'm going to do it all in one large bowl, and then we're going to enjoy it after we get done filming. But any of the leftover vinaigrette you can store in a glass jar in the refrigerator and just use it up in the next couple weeks. But we're going to add some fresh peaches and plums and cherries to this. And then I have some mozzarella balls that are stored in oil, and I chopped some of those up. And then I also added some chopped up pistachio nuts. So this is something else that I normally buy in bulk and then store in a glass jar in the pantry, and it'll stay fresh a lot longer also. So whatever you like to add to your salads. And I also have some blueberries that I'm going to add just to give it a little bit different pop of color to it. So the blueberries are stored in a jar in the refrigerator, and these will last 6 to 8 weeks in the refrigerator. This is a great thing to be able to mix up different fruits and vegetables. All of my produce tips are in my book, The Zero Waste Produce Guide. Make sure that you're checking it out. There's a link in the description.